So if we're ruling out tap water, we're ruling out bottled water, then what's left is some sort of filtration system. And there's many, many, many choices there, right? So some people rely on their refrigerator filter. And that's, you know, decent from a filtering standpoint. They may have a Brita system or something that's called Pure is on the filter. So there's those that are kind of commonplace, not very expensive. And then you can get into some fancy ones like a reverse osmosis system. There's a Kangen system. So there's some that are, you know, do other things to the water. And then you're talking about thousands of dollars. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to introduce you to the one that we all love, those of us that are not new to this, and it's the Nikken water system. And I'm in my kitchen here and I'm showing you, it's sitting right there if you can see it. So it sits under the counter, but you can see it's sitting right at the edge of my sink. And I'll explain that more in just a moment. So you can't really see everything in the system, but I'm going to show you what the filter looks like. And that is this. So it says cartridge here. It's pretty substantial. It's packed with this material here, which is an activated carbon. That's part of it. It has these ceramic balls in it. It has a different salt in it. It has some different materials in it. Let me tell you the story about this. So here's the thing about this water, and really about any filter, is that any filter, even if it's a really good filter, this is a really good filter, but a filter doesn't know to only take out the bad and leave in the good. A filter just filters water. So you have water like reverse osmosis systems, which cost several thousands of dollars, and they just take everything out. They strip the water of its minerals. It's what we call dead water, and it's acidic water. Okay. So if you have and then you have the filters like the refrigerator filter or a Brita filter, and they take out what is considered acceptable levels of taking stuff out. So they take out, well, the number is two microns, which I don't know what the heck a micron is. But what I do know is that this water system, the Nikken water system, filters out 0.2 microns. So it takes out 10 times what is considered the acceptable level. So it's a really good filter. Now, I mentioned a reverse osmosis system, which takes out everything. That's also a good filter. It filters the same thing as this one here, 0.2. So this is not the only filter that filters to that level. But here's where it changes. Here's where we kind of break out from the pack. Is that this water system is not just about filtering. As I said in the very beginning, when I was introducing the company, they are a company that is all about mimicking Mother Nature. And so this water is called Pi water, P-I, and Pi in Japanese means living water. How is it living water? Well, they studied water in a region of Japan. This is going back 25 years ago, maybe 30 years ago. They studied water and they looked at how it was, they got curious, and these were plant doctors, botanists, of why in this particular region of Japan, the crops that they were growing were overproducing substantially compared to other areas of crop growth. So they started looking at what was unique about that area. And as this company does in mimicking nature, they matched up what was special and unique in that area, and they copied it in this water system. So what does that mean? Well, the water is ionized, and ionized means it's charged particles. So ions out in nature, ions in science, means it's electrical, like electrical charge. It gives a living property. Food that is living foods that are, what's the word I'm looking for? That are, what is that word? I'm stumbling on it. But the difference between macrobiotic. So macrobiotic food that it's not been super processed, that has ions in it. It's charged. There's charged particles, the molecules are. So it's kind of like if you've heard of antioxidants, that help to balance the free radicals, the bad things that age us and break our body down. This is creating free radicals or breaking down free radicals. It's like antioxidants in the water. So it's adding extra nutrients in the water. So how do they get that? And there's a company out there that costs $5,000–6,000 for their system. It's also a Japanese company, and they use electricity to charge the water. But this company's not about doing that. They're about mimicking in nature. So they identified these salts, because salt is an ion, like you hear of ionized salt, right? It's got that charge to it. And so there's these salts within the filter that create that living property. Additionally, it's pH balanced water. It's slightly alkaline water. And how many of you have heard about drinking alkaline water? Has everybody heard a little bit about it? So our diets are mostly acidic, unless you're eating all greens and vegan and raw. Your diets are more acidic. Every time you get stressed out, you create acidic chemicals in your body. And so you can create more of an acid environment in your body. Now, your body knows, our bodies are so miraculous that they know that certain parts of our body need to be more acidic, like our gut, because that's breaking food down. But overall, we don't need to be acidic. And if we have too much acids in our body, we feel bad, right? Some people live on Tums or Rolaids. They get acid reflux. I mean, they have conditions. They feel their muscles hurt. So there's some real medical issues about having too much acidity. So the idea is that if you're drinking water that's slightly alkaline, you're helping to balance the acidity in your body. Your body is looking always to be more balanced. So drinking water that's slightly alkaline is actually a very good thing. Okay. So this water goes through the filter. Here it is again. So I just take, see if you can see this. Hold on. So I'm pulling my thingy out. Hold on. How do I do this? This is not a one-person job. Sorry. Here's the thingy from the faucet. And I could just fill it up. And it's filling up at the top here. Don't want to put too much because it's almost full here. Shoot, sorry. So I just fill it up from the sink. So it's tap water that goes through this filter. And through that process, it's filtering it 10 times more than what's considered acceptable. It picks up the minerals, the salt, so it ionizes the water, so it has a charge to it. And then there's actually mineral stones in the water. And that I don't know if you can see so well, but there's like rocks in the water. We need minerals. And when we don't get minerals from our food, our body steals it from other places. So this puts 17 trace minerals in the water. That's important. Yes, ma'am.
How many gallons does that hold, and how quickly does it fill up?
It holds about 1.33 gallons. And once you prime the filter, because the first few days it's a little slow, but then once you prime it, 10 minutes. It's very quick.
Time.
Thank you, Veronica. Okay, so the tap water is being restored through going through this whole cartridge of filtering. And then when it sits in the reservoir of the bottom part where you dispense the water, it has the mineral stones. Again, 17 trace minerals that our body needs. So it's mineral rich water. It's ionized, it's slightly alkaline, it's filtered, it's purified. And the last thing that happens is it passes through a magnetic field. Now, I'm not going to talk to you about magnets so much tonight, unless at the very end you want to ask me questions. But this company started with magnetic technology. That's really how the company started, with the importance of using magnets as a natural way of energizing the body, re-energizing the body. So, and the Earth is a giant magnet. We live on a giant magnet with the North and South Pole. So there's a magnet within the filter. And so the water passes through this magnetic field, and that makes the water it breaks the water clusters up so that it penetrates into the skin. It penetrates into your mouth. Now, you don't have the advantage of drinking this water right here, but if you can possibly, you're going to have to trust us and try it for yourself. I personally guarantee you're going to notice a difference. There is a difference in the absorption from this water, and it's because of the magnetic field. It's structured water. If you've ever drank a lot of water on a hot day, which we're getting ready to have lots of hot days, you drank a lot of water and then you felt like the water was slushing around in your stomach, that's because it's not getting in. It's not being absorbed. And so sometimes people have come to doctors and they've said, because I've worked with these doctors that say they're drinking tons of water, but they're still testing underhydrated. They're not very hydrated. And it's because of the water they're drinking. So not all water is created alike. This water, one of the things women my age tell me when they buy the system is that they stop having to get up all night long and pee, which interrupts your sleep. You know, that's not great. So at certain age, I think men and women for that matter, it can make a big difference. So it's because you don't just run to the bathroom every time you drink this water, because it's getting in, it's being hydrated. And I'll try to maybe show you a test on that. I don't know if I can do a good job of it. Okay, so I'm going to put this back and we're going to do a few demos. Anybody have any questions so far? Because I know I just threw a lot of information at you. Okay, we're going to do that. We're going to, first of all, we're going to test the bottled water. Can you see that there? So I have a couple of cups here. And what we're going to do, I can't, you know, when I told you about the big study with all that they tested for the chemicals and heavy metals, I can't do that. I'm not a chemist. But what I can do, and you could do this at home, is test the pH of the water. So this is Dasani water. And I'm going to put some water in the cup. And this is smart water. I don't know how smart it is. We'll find out. So I'm putting about the same level. Okay. And then these are swimming pool drops. So any place where they sell swimming pool testing kits, like to test the pH of the water. So I'm going to put 5 drops in each of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the Dasani. And then this is the smart water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm also going to turn over here. This is our water bottle. And this, you put tap water in. It's a little mini system that you take on the go. And I'm just going to fill it up with the water bottle. Now, normally you don't turn it upside down, but this is to fill up the cup. This is what I'm doing. Okay. Can you see that too? All right, I'm going to put 5 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I'm going to swirl the water. If it's nice and pink, it's in that sweet spot of alkalinity. If it's yellow, it's acidic. If it's kind of a baby pink, then it is either slightly alkaline, slightly acidic, or maybe it's base, it's neutral. So the Dasani, can you see how yellow it is? And the smart water, ooh, that looks terrible. That's not so smart. So can you see that? Can you see this? See the difference? So in terms of pH, you've got a big difference. Now, I'm going to show you this from the water system. I'm about to put another filter because this filter, I use it all the time to fill up water for people. And the filter needs to be changed. So this is from my water system here. And it's not going to be as pink because I tested it earlier and I got to change it. 2, 3, 4, 5. So you need to change this. The best way to test it is to check the pH. So this is probably about 8. This here is probably 9. So that's the difference in the color. It's still alkaline, but it's not as alkaline as I want it. So tonight I'm going to soak another filter and change the filter. You change it, the filter, it's going to, this cartridge here filters like 220 gallons of water. And so, you know, it's recommended that you change it every 3 months. Some people change it. I have restaurants that use it. They go through so much water, they change it more frequently. Some people that are maybe a family of 2 or 3, they may change it they stretch it out a little bit, like 4 months. But the pH is, to me, see the difference? So I'm going to change the filter now. But compared to this, it's a big improvement. Okay, so any questions about that?
Any questions, Ray? Is this a good time for me to share, Sherry?
Yeah, please do.
So one of the things was I was looking for a NECAN representative. I knew NECAN, and what I wanted was some of the shoe insoles and some of the magnets for my back pain. And when I ran into Sherry, she was doing NECAN, but she was doing the water. And I was buying Crystal Springs from Publix. First, it was $7.99 for 32 bottles. Then it was $10.99 for 32 bottles. And they were always running out of the Crystal Springs. And Julian and I, my son and I, would go get it. I could hardly lift it. I had a plastic bag full of bottles in my kitchen. And Sherry came to we met for breakfast. She says, well, let you borrow the waterfall. And so I was like, I don't know why she's let me borrow it. I'm not drinking anything out of my tap. I don't drink tap water. And so she called me a few days later and said, well, Sheila, how's the waterfall going? I said, well, Sherry, to tell you the truth, I haven't even set it up. I don't drink tap water. I buy my water. I don't even cook with tap water. And so she says, well, I'm going to come over and set it up. And I'm just thinking, oh my God, she's wasting her time. I am not going to drink that water. So she sets it up and she gives me a glass to drink. And I'm like, really, like, I don't even want to drink it from the tap that's been through the filter. But as soon as I drank the water, I could taste the difference. Really, you can almost see the difference. It's so clear. And I said, oh my God, I love this water. That's why I call it, I love my water. That's the name of everything about it is, I love my water. And so then Sherry did the test on the water I was drinking, Crystal Springs, that I was buying. It was more yellow than the Dasani. And yes, I was spending all that money drinking those crystals, going to 3 different Publixes to get it. And then the water in my tap, when she did the test also, was super yellow. And so I share it with people I know who don't drink tap water, because none of my friends, none drink tap water. And so and then when Raymond was here and he said they even get water for their dogs, I said, okay, you really need to see the presentation. and he's a young, they're entrepreneurs, they're building their life, and they already got the message that, you're not going to do it on 1 or 2 incomes. You need 4 or 5 streams of income, of revenue. So I really wanted to share it with him, but the water has really changed my life. And I'm on a well-being plan, health plan anyway, to lose weight. So now I got the right water and one of the supplements that I love. And I still haven't gotten my insoles for my shoes, but I'm going to get those. So that's how I got into this. And I said, well, heck, I could at least do this once a week on Zoom, once or twice a week on Zoom, and share it with my friends and family. And that's my commitment.
Love it. All right, I'm going to stop the recording for a second.
Yes.